Pump it up, pump it up.
Trae.
Come on, come on.
With Trae.
Pump it up, pump it up.
It's the day with
This is
Trae.
the day to gain inspiration, to make a positive change in the nation. We're inviting you to partake in conversation, to raise your vibration. It's the day that we will all celebrate all of our peeps that make this thing elevate. Watch the negative fade away, cause it's the day with Trae.
Grand Rising, everyone. Welcome to the Day with Trae. I'm your host, Trae Holiday. I get to welcome you to a fantastic Friday. Really excited for my guests in the building. Up first, we got Jeff Greene in the building, the owner of Elite Canine Academy and the CEO of Boneyard Seattle. Yeah, y'all heard these big titles, all right? I'm excited to get into it with Jeff. He's going to be telling us all about both of those entities and how they are making sure folks understand in the Central District, there is a dog-friendly tavern, y'all. So we're going to be talking all about it. And later on in the show, I'm so happy because my girl, my sister girl, Besa Gordon is joining me later on. And we're going to be talking about this amazing segment that just aired on Back to Besa and all of the beauty that YOUniversal Fitness is doing for men with their Man Uplift events. So really excited to dive in today, but of course, you know, it's the top of the show. So you're diving in, right? You're diving in because you're going to help us spread the awareness of this show by sharing it with people who could benefit from the daily dose of dopeness that we give you here on The Day with Trae. And if you can't watch our TV show, we still have you covered. As always, don't even worry about it, y'all. If you're driving into work and you're like, I can't watch, you can listen. Anywhere you find your favorite podcast, just search Converge Media Network in The Day with Trae. You'll find us there. Well, up first, we got Jeff Greene in the building, and I get to talk to him about what it means to be an owner and a young CEO of some amazing entities that are right here in the Central District. What's up, Jeff?
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good. Excited to be here. Thanks for having me.
Well, I'm glad you could make it with all of the busy work you're doing out here. Tell us a bit about your background. What got you into the positions you're in today?
Absolutely. So where do I start? Well, I was born at a very young age. And for the viewers that are watching, that'll sink in a little bit. But I'm originally from Atlanta, Georgia. As you mentioned, I'm 26 years old. Moved to Seattle about 2 years ago. And I got my start in business with a very familiar business model that most people know about in network marketing. Network marketing was a business model that opened my eyes to what could be for me in the world of business. But as I was actually diving into that space, I was a fireman. I was a fireman for Clayton County Fire and Emergency Services in Georgia. And then I worked for another fire department in Forsyth County, Georgia. Fell in love with that field. I say it's the one job that I would go back to if I ever were to get a job again, because it's the best job in the world. Shout out to all my firemen out there. But grew up really inspired by people that served others. So becoming a firefighter and becoming an entrepreneur and now a dog trainer is all fueled by my desire, excuse me, to serve. And I enjoy it wholeheartedly. There's nothing that I enjoy more than serving others in need.
Wow.
It's a quality that was instilled in me by my mom, a single mom of four, raised us in North Carolina and Atlanta. And I watched her do nothing but serve all the time. She's a cosmetologist of about, I don't want to get it wrong, 33 years. Wow. She's been a cosmetologist and has loved what she's done, has never stopped, even while working multiple jobs. That has always been her passion. And so I got my drive from her. I got my work ethic from her and belief from her as well, that if you stick to something that you love and you continue to get better at it, it'll take you to where you want to go.
You know, such a beautiful reminder for us all, honestly. And great words of wisdom at 26, Jeff. Clearly, you have put yourself in position by working hard and being dedicated to now be the owner of Elite Canine Academy. I want to talk a bit about that because, you know, there's a unique quality and characteristics that it takes to train dogs. Tell us about what got you into that field of work.
Okay, great question. So for me, I grew up with dogs. I grew up with Rottweilers. I had two Rottweilers at different times in my life. They were both named Congo. They're my favorite dogs ever. Had a Yorkie growing up, pit bulls, a Cane Corso that passed away at about, I think he might have been only less than 6 months old, and left a huge imprint on me losing a dog that I was like, I want to say I maybe been about 5 or 6 years old when that dog passed. But I grew up with dogs nonetheless throughout my childhood. Even though my mom and dad were separated, my dad always had dogs. And my mom wouldn't let us have dogs because she knew what it took to take care of dogs. And so, of course, going to my dad's growing up, like I just loved our dogs so much. So as an adult, at 21 years old in the fire department, I got my first dog as an adult. He was a chocolate pit lab mix named Boss. And Boss came with his own issues, nonetheless. He did. Anybody who's gotten a dog from a shelter, you know, they come with their own issues. Boss had separation anxiety. He used to chew things up when I would leave. He used to obviously have potty mistakes, not being potty trained at a certain time in his life. And he would run away all the time. So if the door was open and he could squeeze through, he's gone. The only way to get him back was to get in the car and say like, hey, let's go for a ride. And he'd think about it. He'd go, all right, I'll come with you. And sometimes he didn't. Sometimes he'd be gone for hours and he'd just come back home later. And so at some point, I finally got tired of dealing with that. And dog training wasn't even on my radar. When you're a kid growing up with dogs, you don't realize the amount of work that goes into them. And as an adult now, dealing with what can be a liability for you, an animal that can bite someone, that can destroy your things, that can run away and get hurt themselves, and you are emotionally attached to them. You've got to figure out a way to mitigate all those risks. And so I met my now wife. We went on a date. She had a dog. His name was Nico. He was a hound mix. And I watched her do a trick with him where she'd do a little finger gun and she'd go, bang. And he'd roll over and he'd put his paw over his eyes. I'm like, how did you even teach him to do that? All right. I was amazed by just one little trick. And that sent me down the rabbit hole of dog training. So as I went down that rabbit hole, enrolled in an online course at the time, it's about 4 years ago, and started to learn about dogs, how they learn and understand what we teach them, how they operate amongst themselves, all these beautiful things about them. And I started to train Boss. Got some really great results. Of course, naturally, hey, how'd you do that with your dog? How'd you get him to not do that? How's he so good? Like, I've been training him. Like, can you help me? Sure. Of course, starting to do this, not, as a business and not for money up front. It's just, it was something I was intrigued in. I started helping more people and more people started asking. And so, of course, I'm like, okay, I should take this on and do this as a business because I enjoy it. Started to see more trainers online. The algorithm, every time we talk about something, it picks it up and it starts showing us people. I started to see some amazing trainers that I really liked. And here we are 4 years later. I'm living the dream that I dreamed of 4 years ago, being able to go into people's homes, have people come to me at the facility and help them get better results with their dog. That was the whole impetus for me getting into training with Boss. I had to solve some problems. When I found the relief that brought, I was like, more people need to have this feeling with their dogs.
Wow. And at Elite Canine Academy, y'all do dog training. Is it also dog sitting? Tell us a bit about the range of programs y'all
Absolutely.
offer.
So Elite Canine, and we're going to talk about Boneyard obviously in a few, but Elite Canine and Boneyard are one at the location in the Central District off of Jackson Street. We're at the corner of 26th and Jackson. And we do dog boarding, daycare, and training. So anything that you need for your dog except grooming, we have it there. As Elite is as its own entity, I have trainers and we typically do in-home lessons is how we operate it for the majority of our existence. Because we knew that, yes, there is a certain amount of good you can do for a dog in a facility. We won't get into that nuance, but in-home training is what most people need. Most of their dog's behavioral issues happen at home. So we operated with very minimal overhead, didn't get a facility, and decided to take on a lot of in-home clients, and it's proved very, very fruitful over the past 4 years. I would say we're sitting right around a 95 to 97% success rate with dogs. Yeah, very, very little bad reviews, if you will.
Well, that's really great, honestly, for a company that's proving to be an amazing resource for so many dog owners out there and families. Now, Boneyard Seattle is a actual tavern
Correct.
that's connected to this. Tell us more about Boneyard.
Nice. So the owner of Boneyard, Dagmar Reese, she has 3 and had more than 3 doodles at one point. And she is an avid dog lover. And she wanted to create a space where people and dogs could coexist and have a good time together. And that business model is already out there, but obviously you don't see many here. There are a few here, but not many. And there were none in the Central District. And so the idea that she had, it was a real passion project. She loves dogs and she loves people. She actually was a physician that is newly retired. All right. So she as well served people all her life too. And so she wanted to create this space where in Seattle, where you want to get out the rain and bring your dog in and they can go play and you can have a drink with your friends. She wanted to make that a reality for people here. And so thus Boneyard was born as an indoor dog daycare, boarding, and dog park after hours, which will be opening up back in October.
Wow. I mean, y'all are doing a lot in the space, and it's an amazing space as well. I'm so glad I was able to come and check it out.
Me too.
And you have a nice setup because y'all got all the things that people want to do to have fun, but you're also doing some different type of nights throughout the week. Can you tell us more about that?
Correct. So right now we offer a different theme, if you will, during the weeknights. Monday is trivia currently. Thursday we do open mic, right, and live music. We're soon to be, for all of my people out here that are with the culture, as we say, we're gonna be doing R&B nights starting soon, every single Wednesday. And Friday is gonna be a live event where we feature an artist or a DJ or a singer, if you will, on Friday nights.
Wow, that's a lot going on. Well, but before I let you go, though, you have a new passion project that you're excited to tell us about. Tell us more about this media side.
Nice. So myself and a good friend of mine, Sammy, we are starting a media company, if you will, a podcast that will help dog owners around the world start to understand the world of dogs at a lot more depth than they currently have. For example, most people who have a dog typically only understand a few aspects of their life. They know a little bit about what to feed them, how to take them out to go have fun, and how to spoil them. That's it. They don't know much about canine nutrition or training or socializing that dog or fulfilling that dog's genetics or anything else that I can go down a rabbit hole about. And so the podcast that we're building is to help people that are current dog owners, all right? People that want to become dog owners, people that want to become dog professionals, creating a space where if you're wanting to become a dog trainer, become a groomer, become whatever it is in this field, we want to create a platform that you can come and consume information that will allow you to facilitate your goals. It's not just going to be something where we get on and talk to tickle ears, all right, so to speak. We want to educate people. So we want to become an educational platform where you get to understand how do different cultures raise dogs? How do they coexist with dogs? All right. How do you build a successful dog business? How do you train a dog successfully? Are you a foster parent of a dog? Do you work with a rescue? What does that world look like? Rescue work, shelter work, training. There are people that I know. I got a girl in Oregon right now in Medford. She rescues the Cane Corso breed every single day. If you're not familiar, look up what a Cane Corso is. Typically, females are 100 to 110 pounds and males are 120, 130. And this girl, who's about 130 pounds soaking wet, is saving them every day. Bite risk, some that have been just given up. They have all kinds of issues. But she's not a 501c3. She doesn't have resources and funding. She's doing it because she loves it. Well, what platform is out there that will help her to get the resources that she needs?
Wow.
And so with me recently losing a dog that I really loved, he was rehomed to me. I was rehabbing him and he ended up biting the person that wanted to rehome him. I was caught in between a rock and a hard place because I was out of time and out of options for this 130-pound dog who with me was a love bug. I loved him so much. But him having to be put down because there are over 700,000 dogs a year that go into shelters because owners don't understand how to fulfill these dogs and they don't understand what to really expect when they get them. They dump them on shelters. Where a dog like him, who just needed probably 30 days of slow introductions with a new person who really was serious about rehoming him, he could have gotten that help he needed, built that bond in that time of being housed at a shelter, and could have been slowly integrated into a new home. But because he was so bonded to me and had only lived with me for the previous 6 months and I did so much work with him, he didn't want to leave me. He didn't have anywhere safe to go where people could handle him and give him what he needed. And so Leonidas is his name. He has really sparked this fire in me to really educate people. It's great to train one-on-one. It's great to go in your home. It's great for you to come to the facility. But there's only so many dogs I can see. There are only so many owners I can talk to in a day. But when I can reach hundreds of thousands, millions of people in a platform to educate them on what to expect from your dog, how to care for them, how to nurture them, how to get into this business if you want to, and a plethora of other things. That is what is the most impactful at this point.
Wow, Jeff, clearly you are passionate about this work and you are the right person for the job. The Day with Trae is here for you as y'all have events over there at Boneyard Seattle. If you have specials at Elite Canine Academy, and as the media and the podcast and this resource for dog owners shapes up, please keep coming back. We want to keep sharing the information with the folks. So thanks so much. Of course, if folks want to tap in, if they want their dogs there, if they want to find out how to support you, look right here and let them know how they do that.
If you guys are wanting to come and bring your dogs to the amazing world at Boneyard Seattle, it is simply Boneyard Seattle on Instagram and any other social. The website is boneyardseattle.com. As far as training goes with the Elite Canine Academy, the website is the letter E, K, the number 9, A, .com. That's ek98.com. If you're looking for me personally, it is Jeff Greene Official on all socials, but Instagram is typically where you can find me at.
Right on. Jeff, thanks so much for the work you're doing.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Wow, y'all already inspired. And that inspiration is going to continue because up next, my girl, Besa Gordon, is joining me. We're going to be talking about this amazing segment that aired on Back to Besa from YOUniversal Fitness. Y'all don't want to miss it. Stay tuned. You're watching The Day with Trae.
Seattle Opera presents the world premiere of Jubilee. Jubilee follows the historic Fisk Jubilee Singers' initial tours following the Civil War. While raising funds for the fledgling Fisk University, the group shared their music around the world, showcasing more than 40 African-American spirituals such as Swing Low, Sweet Chariot, Deep River, and Wade in the Water. Jubilee is not to be missed. October 12th through 26th at McCaw Hall. Details at seattleopera.org.
Africatown Plaza is our latest affordable housing development project. It's 126 units of affordable housing over community commercial space.
It's the first time in my career, and I've been doing this for 10 years, that I was able to design for people who look like me.
Africatown Plaza is a beacon of hope.
Africatown Plaza is a love letter to the community.
Hello, welcome to Elite Insights with Carlos Imani. We're looking to offer an in-depth look at event production industry through the lens of client experiences and joint successes. The podcast will emphasize guest interviews, focusing on clients discussing their fields and reflecting on their collaboration with Elite Collective. Again, you're with Elite Insights. Carlos Imani here. See you guys in a few.
Welcome back, everyone, to The Day with Trae. I'm your host, Trae Holiday. Joining me is my girl. Y'all know her and love her, Besa Gordon. What's up, Besa?
Hi, Trae.
How are you?
Good.
Good to see you.
Good to be back.
Yeah, I mean, seriously, welcome back.
Thank
Oh
you.
my gosh, you are loved. And you know what? This is really exciting for me because we're talking about a segment that I was able to produce on Back to Besa.
Period.
Let me toss it over to you because you got to see this segment. And being there, I was so inspired by the work that Coach Mike Ford is doing. Tell us your perspective.
Honestly, my perspective, and I definitely want to know more of your perspective after we show like a quick preview of it, but it was a beautiful thing. You know, you have all these Black men in one room. They're working out, they're getting their sweat on, and then they come together and have conversation about their feelings. Like, that is not something that I know of that is heard of within our community. And I think that what they're doing over at Universal Fitness with this Man Uplift program is they're, as I like to say, they're redefining what it means to be a strong man. You know what I mean? And you know, you have like what, 2 or 3 boys?
Yeah.
And so for them, they're able to see these grown men that are big, buff, strong, entrepreneurs, maybe they're doctors, therapists, etc. And they're like, look, I don't mind talking about my feelings. It's okay.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. And y'all, you're up for a treat because we actually do have a clip that we want to show you right now. Here is Universal Fitness and their Man Uplift event.
Today, we're here at Universal Fitness Studio, and we're doing the Man Uplift program. We've been doing it for the past 6 months. We do it every first and third Saturday, and what it is a 30-minute workout, followed by open discussion from a licensed mental health therapist, followed by food and fellowship. During the pandemic, my father, my father-in-law, my cousin, and I, we work out in our garage, and it was very therapeutic, you know, so I wanted to bring that to the masses and add some professional therapists to it, so we can really, you know, see the benefits from it. We learn how to navigate through different situations, different men from different backgrounds. You know, we all kind of come together and share resources, letting each other know that, you know, we're not in it alone. That's the biggest thing.
So what we're doing today here is we're addressing, number one, we're uplifting men. Secondary part to that is me I'm a licensed mental health clinician, practicing for over 18 years as a licensed therapist. And my position today is to help them address mental health issues as men, and what that sounds like and looks like in our perspective, whether that's anxiety, depression, things, you know, those are the major ones, but anything else that they need to address, whether it's, you know, behavioral, mental, and emotional, that I can provide services for to help them.
You won't really realize who you are until you sit somewhere in a nice, peaceful place, and you be like, dang, I miss this person. I forgot who this was.
The feeling of being alone, regardless of the amount of social contact. You could be home, you could be married, having kids, and you still feel lonely. Find something, find people, get into activities, try new things.
You know, I forget about me all the time and how I feel. So whenever I'm like talking to my wife or anything and she's wondering what's going on with me, I've finally gotten to the point to where I can actually tell her what's going on and I don't have to worry about being judged in any way.
I think it's important to the community at large because we as men struggle with talking about emotions. And as a result, we suffer. There's times when emotions are high. We don't always talk about it. We don't always reach out to others to ask for advice or ask for help.
Number one, I think just the dynamics of being a man, we are held to a different standard in society. And I think because of that, there can be a lot of strongholds that these expectations are there. And so that doesn't mean we don't struggle. And so when we're discussing this with other men, it allows us to be able to bounce things off each other to say, hey, I'm not alone in this. I think, you know, mental health and physical health definitely goes hand in hand. And that's important for us is when we're working out and we're eating healthy, that definitely contributes to, you know, your body, the neurological part of it, your heart. And it definitely helps with fight off depression, anxiety. Like those are the 2 major things that most people deal with. So when you're exercising and you're eating healthy, those definitely contribute to how your body responds. And then you're addressing the mental health part of it too, the things that are going on within your head to be able to decrease a lot of those stressors that are going on with a person. So I think it's a great place to be able to come to be able to have that experience, as well as a wealth of knowledge and experience, as well as the physical aspect of working out, which I think is amazing.
If you really want a fitness community, this is the place to be. We got people creating relationships, friendships, partnerships, business, all type of things, you know. And Man Uplift is just beautiful. The impact that we're having on the community right now, the growth and development in the community from the men has been amazing.
Okay. I love the way that the segment turned out. But Besa, you were saying things earlier that really resonated with me too. I mean, how needed this is in our community. We talk a lot about, what goes wrong in our community. And I love that on Back to Besa, you're always showcasing what's going right, how we can literally uplift those things, right? Like, I really appreciate the value that people are now putting on the positive stories that are out there. And Coach Mike Ford is doing it, I mean, to see all of the men in space, me and the videographer, we're both just like, whoa. And even the videographer is a Black male. So he was like, I'm coming, He was like, I'm going to show up, next time, because we were sitting there and hearing these stories of men who were finding that safe space to open up, to connect with one another, to learn from one another. Sharing those stories for me was really impactful. With my two sons and the lives they're living, I always am like, I'm raising men, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, they're gonna be men for more years, hopefully, God willing, than they are children.
Yeah.
And so the beauty of something like this is so needed in our community.
No, absolutely. And for yourself with The Day with Trae, as I've said before, you've created a space for people like Mike Ford to be able to come here, talk about what they're doing, talk about themselves, highlight what they're doing, and not be rushed to do it. So as a curious person myself, you have so many different segments that are on your show. You're not always bringing out the big guns. You're not always calling Lavoy or Francisco. So I'm honestly curious to know, what about Mike Ford and what he's doing with the Man Uplift program made you want to be like, yo, we need to dig deeper into this? Because as I said, like, in my opinion, I don't have children, but I can see why a program like this is so important to be highlighted to our Black male youth specifically.
Yeah.
And that is why we put things like this on Back to Besa, because as I always say, there's enough negative news out there. Let's spread some positive things about our people so that way they can see us in a different light and they can see a different option. They can see a different route. And I feel like he's creating that different route. But again, I don't have any kids. So
Yeah.
I'm curious to know, what was the moment where Trae was like, you know what, we need to dig deeper in this?
You know what I love? That's a really great question. And I really love being asked questions here on The Day with Trae. I'll tell you right now. It was a great question because honestly, seeing Mike do these classes at YOUniversal Fitness, I first experienced him by going to a class. And I'm like, yo, this is dope. One of the first flyers I saw was for Man Uplift. And I'm like, whoa. I was like, you got to tell me more about this, because we talk about, and I'll go right to it, Besa, we talk about gun violence a lot. We talk about how it resonates in young Black males a lot. And we know that our community deals with the ripple effects of gun violence, I think, in so many intimate ways, that I saw this as a way to counteract the narratives that are so dominant in major media. And when I saw the flyer, I'm like, please tell me more. He explained it to me and I'm like, yo, we got to get a crew out here to really showcase what you're doing for men and the space you're creating for men. And he was just like all in, from day one. But it was literally the very first time I went to his studio and I was like, what you're doing is phenomenal. So then to see it unfold for me, right? It was like, let me just say, I tried to stay out of the way because I'm like, the men are connecting and I'm not trying to be all in their face and like all knowing what's going on. So like, but I'm hearing and it's resonating and it's touching them. And it was great to be able to connect with so many of them afterwards. And so I'm glad because that's the beauty of Converge, right? Like we are over here, we are sister networks. We over here doing all the things, doing the shows, the ways that we love. And that's what we really want people to understand as we pour in. So I'm just encouraging men out there, right? I'm like, go to YOUniversal Fitness. It is all the way South Tacoma. So they are definitely putting on for South King County or Pierce County. And it's really an opportunity for you to connect. Besa, any last words you got to say about Man Uplift?
You know what? I think what I would actually want to say is for anyone that's like specifically within the Seattle area, I know sometimes we're always like, oh my God, it's too far. If you have a car, it's not too far, right? I think that doing things that involve your mental health, you know, healing your mental health and making it to where, I don't remember what the guy's name was, but he was like, you know, I would go home and I would have issues with explaining what was going on to me with my wife. And now I can do that. So I feel that going to a space like that, it's not that far if it's only 30 to 40 minutes away. You're going somewhere that's going to change a conversation for you with your family when you're at home. You're changing your own probable thoughts about yourself. And you're creating this beautiful fellowship with men that look like you, to where it's like, look, bro, you're not alone. I'm having issues. I didn't know how to explain myself, but now I do. Because not only are they working out, because let's not front, every once in a while people are like, yo, I'm going to go for a run or a walk or a jog, but you're doing this workout and then you're talking to a therapist afterwards about what's going on with you. And it is in, as I always say, a non-judgmental way, where you're able to be unapologetically yourself and be heard and be felt and feel validated. And I think that is what is so beautiful about the Man Uplift program. Because like I said, they really are redefining what it means to be a strong man. It's so much more than just muscles.
That's right. That's right. And they not only focus on muscles, they focus on mental.
Yeah.
And I love the combination. Again, you know, I know a lot of folks here always love tuning in to Back to Besa and tapping in with Besa Gordon. Of course, I got to give you the opportunity to look right there in the camera. Let them know how they stay plugged in.
Well, shoot, we are tapping in with season 2 of Back to Besa right about now. Hallelujah for that. Even though I took off 10 weeks, I definitely have to give a big shout out to Trae Holiday, Deontay Damper, Curtis Delgado II, and T-Dub for giving me those 10 weeks off to really take a break. You know, without you guys, I don't really know what would have happened. Like, my mental is so much better now that I've been able to take off that time. So I thank you for literally rearranging your life and your schedule to give me that time to do that. And with the show, we're going to be telling more stories like Man Uplift. We're going to be telling more Black business stories. We're going to be going to more events. We're going to be doing more things where, shoot, I would love to even tell Trae Holiday stories. We are telling the stories of the people within our community that you need to know about and that we all think are dope. And we're digging deep. And as I said before, we are showing our people in a light that is not always shown on the news, but representation matters. It's important for you to be able to see what we're doing and seeing that other side of what it means to be a Black American within the, you know, United States, Pacific Northwest, Seattle, Washington, Tacoma, Skyway, wherever you happen to live out. We're showing you our lives and we're doing it in a beautiful way.
Besa, it is so great to have you back, my friend. Honestly, we are so grateful that we were able to have this connection. This is really a family here at Converge. We step in and step up.
Right.
We show up and show out. We got your back anytime, boo. Anytime we got you, you know that. And I'm looking forward to doing more of this, because to be able to have some amazing stories that we get to start here with these conversations and the interviews, and then to show them in space on Back to Besa is a really great connection. I'm just saying.
I'm saying, like, I think that, you know, we definitely need to find more ways to work together like this, because like I said, you've had him on your show before and you were able to see something within his story and something that he's doing to where it's like, we need to dig deeper.
Yeah.
And by you digging deeper, we were able to highlight that on Back to Besa. That wasn't a story that I knew about. It's a story that you knew about and you brought to life, which is why I think there are more synchronicities that we are able to do to continue just really putting out the story of our Black culture here in the Pacific Northwest and beyond. And I think us doing things like this it's just so important for our community and our people. So it's like with your show, in my opinion, it's twofold. You're able to have people come here and sit down and talk about themselves, but then you also have the opportunity to dig deeper and get their story pushed out even more.
Yeah, absolutely, Besa. I agree. And we will definitely be doing it more for season 2. Thank you so much, boo. Love you. And I'm so glad you were here with me.
I love you too.
Oh my God. Y'all, I told you it was going to be a Feel Good Friday. And anytime Besa Gordon is here on the day with Trae in the Black Media Matter studios with me, you know all the feel good vibes are going to be present. I get to wrap up all this feel goodness right after this short break. Stay tuned. You're watching The Day with Trae.
You on my mind a lot. Don't need no time watch. I don't know how I got you in my pocket spot. Yeah, that's babe, need you every day. You seem like the barging down. Got my heart no barging in. From the bed to the floor to the couch. Might wake the neighbors up. Break you in and break you out. In the end, we gon' make the child. Then we gon' hit the show. Part 2, we don't need no pause. We miss you, we gon' get tipsy. Don't need a power shot.
copy my steel. Face the fact that copy my steel. Face the fact that.
Here on Back to Besa, it's always been important to me that we uplift stories from across the region and that no matter where you live in the nation, you never have to miss a moment of the show as we continue to highlight the beauty, excellence, and resilience of our communities across the Pacific Northwest. Why? Because representation matters. So no matter where you live, be it the Central District or Centralia, Portland or Pullman, or anywhere across the country, I encourage you to join me on this Back to Besa journey by downloading the free Fox Local app on your phone or smart TV as we continue to elevate the very best in our communities.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Day with Trae. I'm your host, Trae Holiday. Huge shout out to my guests today, Jeff Greene and, of course, Besa Gordon. Both of them here sharing inspiration on this Feel Good Friday. You know, to hear from Jeff, who was 26, who was talking about his passion for dogs and how it started from a young age of his love for dogs and his own necessary reasons to figure out how to train his dog. It's beautiful because now he has Elite K9 Academy. He's the CEO of an amazing tavern that is actually welcoming dogs. So people and dogs can be in space together, and he's creating media soon that's going to be educating dog owners so they understand how to care for their dogs even more. You know, then we got Besa. Of course, with this segment that aired on Back to Besa and the Man Uplift, it was a true showcasing of the amazing work that's happening in our community that oftentimes does not get any type of views. People are not seeing this. We're not creating these stories. We're not uplifting them enough. So I'm so grateful for Besa and Back to Besa saying this is what we're going to tap into even more. We're going to have a platform to dive deeper into the great work that's going on in our community. It is necessary and it is needed. And of course, you know I'm inspired. Okay, I'm inspired by people who are doing something that is benefiting others outside of them. And that's what my guest here showing you here today. So you ain't got no excuses out there, all right? You get to be a part of the solution and help inspire others, as I'm always working to inspire you. And you know, I'll be back with y'all on Monday. Until then, at 11 a.m., y'all. Peace.
Converge Media produces culturally relevant content for Black and urban audiences. Our coverage is raw, transparent, and objective, praised by community leaders, government officials, and residents. Support Converge Media today via Venmo, Cash App, or PayPal at Converge Media.